Red Hill, enabling America's forces. Mankind has created structures so amazing that they have become icons of human ingenuity, creativity, and innovation. The Hoover Dam, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Panama Canal. These incredible achievements and many more are recognized by the American Society of Civil Engineers as historical civil engineering landmarks. One such honored engineering marvel, however, is virtually unknown. Known simply as Project 16 during construction, the Red Hill Underground Fuel Storage Facility on the Hawaiian island of Oahu joined the list of historic civil engineering landmarks in 1994. The story of Red Hill began in 1938. Adolf Hitler's army marched into the Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia. Japan was a year into a full-scale invasion of China. The world was in turmoil. America, geographically isolated and protected by two great oceans, was unprepared for an attack. In Hawaii, the Navy planners expressed grave concern over the adequacy and security of fuel oil storage at Pearl Harbor. The fuel for the entire Pacific Fleet was stored in large tanks scattered throughout the base, highly visible and susceptible to attack. It was decided to build underground fuel storage tanks before a catastrophic attack could cripple the Pacific Fleet. Admiral Chester Nimitz identified the need for a fuel storage facility in the Pacific even before our nation was immersed in the worldwide conflict of the time. Construction began the day after Christmas 1940. Nearly 4,000 welders, miners, mechanics, engineers, and laborers from Hawaii and across the mainland worked on this project nearly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was dangerous, dirty, backbreaking work. The temperature underground could rise to 150 degrees. The noise was loud and constant. During the 3 years it took to build Red Hill, work was suspended only once, December 7, 1941. The first tank was completed in September 1942, and the entire project was finished 1 year later, ahead of schedule, despite war raging on in the Pacific.
The construction of the Red Hill complex is nearly incomprehensible when you think about what it took. It was manual labor that dug out the 20 tanks, installed the pipelines, 3.5 miles, a 32-inch pipeline, 3.5 miles long, run all the way up to Red Hill from the waterfront. What impresses me most about this one-of-a-kind facility is the design, the engineering, the construction that came out of the minds of a couple of people 75 years ago. Today, the facility continues to be impressive and is unrivaled in capacity and capability.
The first of its kind design called for 20 vertical tanks connected by tunnels under the bedrock of Red Hill. The tank and pipeline system were created so that even without electricity, fuel could flow down to Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field. Gravity delivers the fuel with or without assistance.
The tanks themselves, they are 250 feet tall, 100 feet in diameter, and hold about 12 million gallons of fuel.
Your local gas station tank will typically store 15,000 gallons. Each Red Hill tank is as tall as a 20-story building.
At Red Hill, we provide 24/7 services to various locations. We refuel ships, aircrafts, and vehicles for training, deployment, and emergency.
In keeping pace with ever-changing technology, the Navy seeks out the latest technological and research advancements to continually upgrade Red Hill and to conduct the highest level of monitoring, testing, and protection of the environment. Red Hill employs inventory management and automated control and communication systems to monitor the level of fuel in each tank and to control the movement of fuel through the facility. These systems all meet or exceed the best systems in the private sector. We adhere to a rigorous preventative maintenance cycle for all of the Red Hill tanks. Specialized individual evaluations check for operational functionality and structural integrity. It can take up to 3 years to inspect each tank, then clean and repair identified areas as needed before clearing a tank and returning it to use.
Everyone comes to work every day to make sure Red Hill fulfills its mission, and we do it with aloha.
Since 2006, the Department of Defense has invested nearly $200 million in Red Hill to improve and modernize the facility. The Navy is committed to balancing its operational and strategic requirements with its duty to protecting environmental resources and our community. This is achieved by ongoing collaboration with local and national regulators and community stakeholders. The Navy is also committed to protecting our drinking water through a long-term groundwater testing and monitoring program. We collect groundwater samples quarterly and have them analyzed by independent, accredited commercial labs using industry-standard EPA test methods. We provide all water test results to state and federal regulatory agencies for evaluation and assessment, and we make sure results are available to the public.
We use the latest technology and thorough testing to confirm that the decisions we make are sound and preserve our environment. The Navy fully understands the importance of being good stewards of the environment. Especially here in our beautiful state of Hawaii, it is our commitment. Partnering with state and federal regulators, as well as members of the local community, is key. Collaboration and transparency about the work we do at Red Hill and the actions we take to protect the natural resources in the area is always a priority.
The Department of Defense will continue to invest the necessary resources and personnel dedicated to ensure the integrity of all tanks and overall operational effectiveness of Red Hill. The Navy will continue rigorous environmental testing and implementing safeguards to preserve and protect Hawaii's precious resources, communities, and our people's way of life. Red Hill is a national asset and essential to our nation's defenders. It supports the interests of not only the United States, but of our partners and allies as well. Its location makes it the gateway to the Pacific, critical to supporting military mobilizations and disaster response efforts. Red Hill is a state-of-the-art facility, helping to ensure our heroes can deploy anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. Since 1943, Red Hill has supported a multitude of missions. Our military is prepared at all times to go into harm's way to help others, to help ensure regional stability, to participate in disaster relief efforts, to ensure the safety and security of sea lanes, to support search and rescue operations. We protect our nation. We protect our vital resources. We are committed to keeping our people safe. Red Hill remains a vital national strategic asset. We are committed to keeping it a safe, modern, secure, and operationally efficient facility while protecting Oahu's precious ecosystem.